Welcome to the Battlefield 6 Intel Report, where we give you tips and guides into how to become a better Battlefield player, whether it's capturing the zone, whether it's manning your tank or your aircraft, or whether it's just help with the supporting roles like assault, engineer, support, and recon. So without further ado, I'm Trey Rorschach. Let's get into the video. Today's video we're going to be going over Assault Class and how to use the Assault Class effectively, equipment, so on and so forth. The first thing I want to talk about is the Adrenaline Injector. Now this increases your sprint speed, it reduces explosive and incendiary damage, it reduces or negates stun and flashbangs, and increases footstep audio. Now I think a lot of people are sleeping on that last factor, because if you pop that before you go rush a flag or a building where you know they're going to be enemies, you're going to have those 4 bonuses running as you're pushing the flag. So increased sprint speed, you'll be able to rush up on your enemy quicker, you'll be able to hold a room and take a few flashbangs and grenades without taking as much damage, and it'll give you the opportunity to get 1 or 2 more kills and maybe keep that flag for a little bit longer. So the pro tip would be to use when pushing flags or enemy strongholds for maximum benefits. The next tip is regarding the assault ladder, and this is being abused right now, guys, so use the ladder to reach higher vantage points, make bridges or ramps to avoid bad terrain. But what you could do, as you see in the little clip there, is you can put the ladder up, get to a high vantage point, pick it up, and then use it again to get to an even higher vantage point. People are really abusing this right now, and you should abuse it too while you can before they patch it all. Next, I want to talk about the breaching tool. And this underslung grenade launcher needs a buff, in my opinion. It's supposed to be able to shoot through like doors, walls, windows, and you shoot it into a wall and it breaches on the other side and stuns the enemy. It's kind of glitched at the moment where it doesn't really affect the enemy at all, so you walk in and they're just ready for you because you've just used the breaching tool. So I find that a little useless at the moment. As for the high explosive, that UGL underslung grenade launcher is probably the best. You'll see me use it in a second here at infantry. I think the pro tip here would be rather to target their cover and buildings they're camping in, rather than targeting the infantry. That way you'll maximize the effect of the tool. I think that would be honestly the best way to use it, and since I made this clip, I've used it more in that fashion and I've had much more success. So that's what I'd advise for that. It's probably my #1 gadget in assault, really, because when they are hunkered down in a building, you can just use it to take down that building, killing multiple enemies at once sometimes. As you can see, they've used it to open up that building there, and the cover along this wall's been blown apart as well. So use the destruction in the map to your benefit, guys. The thermobaric explosives actually stun and burn the enemy, but they do reduce damage, so they don't do initial blast damage, they only do the thermobaric damage from catching the enemies on fire, which leaves them a little less lethal than the high explosive, but you can flush enemies out of cover using this. Because if you just throw it at the ground, it's going to light the ground on fire. They're going to have to move from cover. If they're trapped in a building, you can do the same thing. You could throw it into a room and they have to rush out the window or rush towards you, so you can get that easy kill. And they'll be weakened by the thermobaric charge as well, so that's something to remember with that gadget. Next, I want to talk about the deploy beacon. I think this is the crown jewel of the assault class. You place it down and you and your teammates can spawn on that location. If you spawn on your own beacon, you will need to replace it as it gets destroyed if you respawn on it. So just remember that. I do think this needs to be in most assault classes, especially if you're playing the bigger modes like Conquest or Breakthrough, it's going to be beneficial to you to run this gadget. The pro tip is, if you place this beacon in a safe location near an objective you want to defend or attack, you and your team can then provide constant pressure. You can respawn on that zone over and over again. If you manage to place it somewhere nifty inside the zone, even better, because you can always have pressure on the zone. You don't have to fight to take it back. You'll always be contesting that zone. So I think it needs to be used more often. A lot of people are relying on the thermobaric charges and the high explosive charges, and I think the beacon is a little slept on. If at least one player in every squad runs a beacon, every squad can spawn on whatever flag they choose. Gives you so many options. So I definitely advise using that on an assault class from now on. The last gadget is the incendiary shotgun, and I haven't got this unlocked yet, but I can tell you now, this is for clearing rooms and flags. This potentially won't cap your assault rifle or your primary weapon limit. I'm not too sure. Hopefully it classes as a gadget, because I know the shotguns actually split the ammo from assault rifle and shotgun on the assault class, but we'll go over that in just a second in the next part of the video. What I want to talk about next is second primary weapons. Instead of a second gadget, you can run a second primary, a carbine, a DMR, or a shotgun. So my pro tip would be allowing this for class variations for different maps, game modes and strategies. So you could run a long range assault rifle with a short range carbine setup, and you'd be able to switch between that, so you'd be able to work outside of the map, and then you'd also be able to work inside the zone when you get a little bit closer to the enemy. You could mix and match a lot of different strategies here with the DMR involved as well. You could have a close range setup for your primary weapon and a DMR as backup, just in case you need a little more range. Next, let's go over class signature set. So these are the 3 traits that come with all assault classes. We've gone over the adrenaline injector as the main gadget. You get a signature weapon trait, which is faster draw times with assault rifles, which means switching between your gadgets and your assault rifle is going to be a little bit faster. So you get that kind of mobility benefit there, and fire sooner when exiting sprint, which is always handy. But if you feel like that doesn't really help you in your gameplay, you could switch to an LMG or another weapon if you really want to. You just won't get those benefits if you do so. Now, the signature trait of the assault class is nearby squad mates get faster progress on objectives, including arming MCOM explosives. So not only do you capture the flags a little bit quicker, so do your teammates. So if all 4 of you are on that flag, an assault, a support, maybe an engineer to take out the tank, and a sniper covering you from a further distance, if you're running a team like that, you're probably going to have the advantage over most people on the battlefield. You also get a quicker cooldown for your teammates to respawn on you using the assault class as well. So remember that if you want to spawn in, sometimes you can't quite click on a player. Assault class is going to be easier to do that if you're running the assault class. Now let's talk about the frontliner perks. So you get Rally Squad, temporary adrenaline effect. It's extended with kills, that one, so you can extend that. Quick recovery, 50% health regeneration and 50% improvement on healing. Soft landing, reduced fall damage. Adrenaline rush, 2 seconds adrenaline boost for team spawning in on your beacon. My pro tip would be to combine frontliner and the deploy beacon to help your team defend or attack a capture point. With quick recovery, soft landing and all the adrenaline perks, you and your team can have more control over these zones. And having a second primary, like a shotgun, can help you clear out buildings or close quarter situations. Let's talk about Breacher, the other option in the Assault class. It has Rally Squad, which is covered by both classes, both Frontliner and Breacher. It has faster reload on Incendiary, Shotgun and Launchers. Reduced movement speed penalty when firing while moving, which I believe probably would help some hipfire strats with strafing and things like that. And it has an extra grenade. So I prefer Frontliner, especially for the bigger game modes, because of the squad beacon thing and everything like that, and the bonuses you get. But I would advise using Breacher if you want to take a power position or knock down a building an enemy is occupying or anything like that. And the Incendiary round shotgun, you can use that to clear flags and rooms of buildings and things if you want a bit more close quarters action. I'd like to take this bit of the video to thank anyone who's watched the video through so far, and to all my subscribers who subscribed and continue to watch my content. Really appreciate it. It really does help the channel. And please guys, if you do enjoy my videos and if they help your gameplay, if they help you improve, please like and subscribe, share the video with your friends. But let's get back into the video. Now that's out of the way, I want to go over a few things that you can do if your support players aren't throwing satchels down, or you can't find any satchels in the area to resupply your ammo and health. One of the first things you can do is interact with the support player on your squad. This will give you health and ammo. I'm not quite sure if it gives you gadget regeneration as well. Look carefully at this video, because in the next couple of clips there will be a couple of scenes of me resupplying ammo, and I haven't really noticed if that works for the gadgets as well. I know it does with the supply bag, that's why it's so useful. But going back to what's useful, there's a second option for you to have a larger ammo pool when you're playing Assault. And as you can see on the bottom right hand screen there, I am running a shotgun, which actually splits the ammo pool of your Assault class. So instead of having a full ammo cache for your assault rifle, it's now split between that and the shotgun. So you have to run up to your support players and interact with them to gain health and ammo, but you can also pick a second gadget instead of a second primary weapon. You can pick up satchels to gain classes of any fallen soldiers as well. So if you see a backpack on the floor, you can pick that satchel up and that will give you ammo and their class to use as you will. That's their class, their perks, everything they are running you are able to use if you pick up their bag after killing them, or if you pick up a teammate's bag as well. Which does lead me on to the next pro tip. If you pick up a satchel that's a support satchel, you can then throw that support bag down to heal any teammates, revive any teammates. You can then switch back to your own class and still use that supply bag to resupply your gadgets, health and ammo. And if you do that in a very powerful position on a flag or just outside a flag, you can have a real good option to keep a flag from the enemy or to attack a flag the enemy is in control of. So as we're getting to the end here, you're gonna see that little supply bag trip in just a second in the next clip. I have actually left a bonus tip for you at the end of this video regarding the sledgehammer. I've been playing a lot of Rainbow Six Siege, and I took one of the tips from Rainbow Six Siege regarding the sledge class in Rainbow Six Siege, and it actually works really well in Battlefield. I don't know if they've played a bit of Rainbow Six Siege and taken the idea from it, but it's very clever, so stick around for that. That'll be the end from me, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. As I've asked before, please like and subscribe, share the content, and I will catch you in the next video.